So, yesterday I was recording a video about Bravenly'S products. And in that video, I talk about how Bravenly has 9 products. Well, as I'm checking the website to finish recording, they drop a new one. And that's fine. That's fine. I took a deep breath, added that product, and found an alternative as well to add to the video. Well, yesterday as well, I'm editing the video that I had already recorded for Bravenly'S overview. And in that video, I mentioned in passing how I thought it was strange that we were already, halfway through 2022 and they had not released their income disclosure statement. So as I'm looking at the website to get some screenshots for the video, they dropped the income disclosure statement. So I had no choice and I had to interrupt the regularly scheduled programming to bring you Bravenly'S 2021 income disclosure statement. If you don't know what Bravenly is, I don't blame you. Yesterday, I posted on Reddit that Bravenly had dropped their income disclosure statement for 2021, and a good chunk of people did not know what Bravenly was. So let's change that and let's get the word out so people know it is an MLM and they know not to join. Now, the TLDR version is Bravenly is a multi-level marketing company that focuses on the healthy lifestyle niche and sells supplements and products to that market. It was founded in December of 2020, so this is their very first income disclosure statement. If you want to watch the overview on the background and website that I did for Bravenly, click on the title card that is popping up on your screen right about now. Now, before we begin reviewing the income disclosure statement, I have to say 2 things. First, income disclosure statements are not really that helpful because the underlying data is unknown. So they don't let you know how many people are actually members. They don't let you know what the expenses are. They don't let you know what their overhead costs are. But we will try and work with whatever we have and try and make sense of it. The second thing that I want to say is I am 100% sure that I will mess something up because I am most definitely not a numbers guy. So take it easy on me, but I will try and keep things clear, simple, and easy to follow, trying not to mess up too bad. If I do mess something up or if my calculations are just way off, let me know in the comments. All right, let's take a closer look at Bravenly'S income disclosure statement for 2021. And Bravenly is in its infancy stages, so this is the first income disclosure statement they released, but the story here is not great. Here's what we can see. As is the case with other MLMs, the numbers are only for active members. And in Bravenly, in order for you to be active, you just need to have earned commission at any given point in the year. So out of the active members, a little bit over 85% of them earned less than $1,800 per month, without accounting for expenses, so about $400. And that is on the high end. If we break it down, the numbers look different. For example, let's look at those 4 ranks that make up the 85% of the members. If we look at just one of the ranks, the one that had the highest paid member, let's just focus on that single row. In that rank, there was at least one person who was paid $1,700 and change. The range goes from a low of $11 and a high of $1,700. So when you look at that rank, you see first, the percentage of people that are in that rank, close to 26%. And then you see that amount of $1,700 and you think, well, that's not bad at all. But if you keep going until the end of the row, you see that the average is $165, and that is less than 10% of the $1,700. That means that there have to be a lot more people on the lower end of the range to pull that average down all the way to $165. Now, if we take a look at the company as a whole, the story is not any better. The fine print on the income disclosure statement shows that the median for the entire membership was $93 and the average was about $581. This is for both active and inactive members. But to add some perspective, let's use some visuals. And bear with me, I'll try to keep it clear and simple. Let's say for simplicity's sake that Bravenly has 100 members total, both active and inactive. So we can then create a grid with 100 squares, and each square is going to represent one person. From the income disclosure statement, we can already fill in 16 of those squares because we have 8 ranks, and each rank has a low amount and a high amount. That means we at least have 2 people in each rank. Now, we also know from the income disclosure statement that 37% of the members were inactive, which means they earned $0. So we can also plug those zeros into the grid. But now our median at the bottom is showing as 0, and it needs to be 93. So we need to add at least 38 93s to get the median to 93. Now our average is too high. It needs to be 581. In order to lower it, we need to input low amounts to pull that average down. So I'm going to add a couple of squares with the lowest amount other than 0. And from the income disclosure statement, that is $1.28. And when I add all these 128s, predictably my median is messed up again. So we need to add more 93s to bring it back up to 93. And we are down to one spot. The average is still high, so we would want to put in a low amount. But if we do that, that's going to mess up the median. And because the median is a better metric than the average, we're going to enter a 93 to keep that median at 93. So now we have a grid with 100 people, and we plugged in the amounts based on the values that we got from the income disclosure statement. So now that we have this, what does it mean? We can look at it in a couple of ways. First, out of 100 people that we used as our sample size, 88 of them made less than $100 in commissions. If you consider the fact that Bravenly has a 100 PV requirement per month, where $1 is 1 PV, it is very possible that these people are already losing money. Out of those 100 people, only 4 of them are making a living wage. If we go based on MIT's average for the US, for a household of 4 people, MIT estimates around $100,000 per year. So I divided that by 12 to get a monthly amount. That gives me around $8,000. And because their household is 2 working adults, I divided that by 2, and that gives me around $4,000. We can also look at this in a different way. We still have those 88 people who made less than $100 and are most likely losing money. But out of the 12 people that made more than $100, 4 of those are making a relatively decent living, and technically really just the top 2% or the top 2 people. The other 2 are doing okay, but not necessarily thriving. And out of the other 8, 4 of them are making less than the 2022 poverty guidelines issued by the Department of Health and Human Services for a household of 2. If we increase the size of the household to 4, 7 out of those 8 are making less than the 2022 poverty guidelines. One of them is sort of in limbo, making $2,600 because they make more than the poverty guidelines for a household of 4. But if they are the sole breadwinner of the house, that is still not great news. If we consider the fact that rent in the US on average is never less than $1,000 a month, that only leaves you with $1,600 to take care of all the expenses you have for the entire month. Who do you think is paying for the top 4 or the top 2 people? And as you extrapolate and make the sample size larger, I am sure the distribution of percentages starts varying as well. So the number of people on the top percentages starts getting smaller, and the number of people on the bottom percentages starts increasing. Because if you look at this distribution of percentages, they don't look as bad as some of the other ones that you see with other MLMs. But that is because Bravenly is a relatively new MLM. This is literally their first income disclosure statement. If those other disclosure statements from those other MLMs are any indication, history will tell us that the distribution from these percentages can only get worse. So if you can, share this with someone. The whole goal is to get information out there so people don't fall for unreasonable expectations and promises of wealth and financial freedom. If you're still watching after my very poor attempt at math, I have a treat for you. Here are some funny comments I got on my post on Reddit about Bravenly's income disclosure statement. Maisie 710. It says, even without considering that, imagine being like, oh yeah, I worked my way up to senior director at this company, making $890 a month. Also, how would people in MLMs even explain this? If you are your own boss, how can you get promoted? And how come everyone is the boss? That is a very good point. This is a great username. Moira's favorite wig says, how much do you have to spend and how many hours do you have to shill crap to get that $44.75 per month? LOL on the ridiculous titles. Dark Souls Noob 627 wrote, $44 a month? WTF? At that rate, just make an OnlyFans and tell people who have crushes on you about it. Bet you would get $100 at least. I mean, that's not a bad idea. Quicksilver writes, they're including cents? Yikes. And then Jerkface Bob responds, quote, if you work really hard, you can earn 5 figures per month, 187.49. Sweet Candy Kink, wow, the senior vice president sure is making bank off of all these people. I would be so pissed to see that we're making $16K to $19K a month compared to my $1.28. $1.28. That's what you earn after all the hustle and having all your friends and family mute or unfriend you on Facebook. Seems worth it. Ali Flusher says, so only their highest rank earns more on average than what MIT considers a living wage in the US. Also, Bravenly stole Herbalife's logo. Couldn't afford Fiverr, Bravenly? Lady underscore Havoc 97 wrote, $1.73. That's just shameful. And then Phoenix Downtown responds, imagine reporting that on your taxes. going to your accountant. Yeah, I made $1.28 a month. Curvy in Seattle writes, of course, the last of the fine print puts all the blame of low or no earnings on the duped sales reps. The whole quote unquote, if you fail, it's your fault for not working hard enough MLM rhetoric is the most infuriating aspect to me. It's actually a good point. And that's something we see all the time with these MLMs. They're going to say that this 88% of people did not work hard enough, and that's why they didn't get paid more. The Mad Bubbler says, Bravenly seriously sounds like a quote unquote creative name that a trashy person would give their child. These are my kids, Bravenly, Courageant, and Lovely. Tiny underscore runner says, imagine making less than $2 per month, then having to go online with a big fake smile and tell everyone how working for Bravenly has changed your life for the better. That's a great point. Goddess Don't Want None writes, you can make tens of dollars. That was a good one. If you want to watch the overview that I did about Bravenly and their background and their website, check out this video. If you want to watch the video that I made about their products, where I present products that advertise the same or similar benefits for way cheaper, check out this video. You know the drill. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you want to get in touch with me, my email is in the description of the video. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.